Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky university kicks off a program to help identify risk factors for dementia, and Kentucky reptile experts give some advice on how to stay safe from snakes as they become a bit more active.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
6:01 on this Monday morning. Good morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks for waking up with us. And you know, Brandon, what was so funny is during the 5 o'clock headlines and the 6 o'clock headlines, Brandon, during the snake, you were looking down. You were not looking at the monitor.
Will not.
Nope.
Listen, I was the on-call manager this weekend and approved that story, but I'm like,
That is so funny because I looked over at you when you were just looking. I was like, don't laugh, don't laugh.
It's like, nope. Listen. There's two things that doesn't matter to me if they're dead or alive: snakes and spiders. Nope, not.
I think I might agree with you on spiders, but snakes, they don't really bother me.
Nope, can't do it. Cannot do it.
Well, teach
I had a traumatizing event when I was a teenager that I'll tell you off air, but it involved a copperhead and me cutting its head off with a weed eater. So,
okay, wow,
yeah,
okay.
So there you go. All right.
Okay.
Forecast. Let's get away from our snake trauma this morning, and we're getting into the forecast today. It's going to be trauma for people who don't like heat later this week. We're going to see a few spotty showers and storms firing up this morning. Nothing severe as you head out the door. There's one just south of Moorhead, one over near the Estill-Powell County line, and one going into Knox County there, northern Knox County, along the Clay County line, just south of the Hal Rogers Parkway. So again, keep an eye on those this morning. UVA-wise on the high knob camera, not too bad. Temperatures in the upper 60s over there. And a lot of 70s showing up there. 76 Jackson, 77 Monticello, two of our warmer spots this morning. 62 in Clintwood, one of our cooler spots. 91, the forecast high. That's the record set back on this day in 2000. 82 is the average high for this time of the year. So if we get to 91 or better, we'll tie or beat that record. We'll shatter some records if we make our forecast highs later this week. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, Health Outcomes reporting from 2019 was updated to include COVID-19 deaths through 2022 and list Eastern Kentucky counties as some of the worst in the state. Our Zach Hawk has more from a pop-up clinic provided by a national nonprofit that hopes to change that.
The Remote Area Medical, or RAM, Volunteer Corps brings free, quality health care to underserved communities thanks to professionals like Marianne Comparoni, who lend time and expertise.
Most people need dental and vision. They do not have the insurance to pay for it or the money to pay for it. It's expensive. Medical is also expensive.
RAM Clinic Coordinator Kim Falkenbury says patients began lining up at 5 p.m. on Friday at East Perry Elementary School.
Dental fillings, cleanings, and extractions. We have full vision exams, including free eyeglasses, and we have some general medical, some women's health available.
Despite a pandemic, RAM funding coordinator Josh Brown says last year they served nearly 25,000 people more than $7 million in health services.
Our donors and volunteers are the backbone of what we do. The volunteers provide the labor and the expertise that we need, and the donors provide that all-important funding so we can provide those services.
Comparoni is from Bell County, but after 8 years with RAM, she has been all across the country and has not lost her passion to serve.
If we can make one pair of glasses for one 5-year-old, and he goes, oh my gosh, that's red, not pink, makes your day.
Making sure days for Eastern Kentuckians are a little bit healthier.
That's what we do. Are we tired? Yeah. But it's a good tired. It's not that's just what it is.
That was Zach Hawk reporting. The RAM Clinic relies on anywhere from 200 to 300 volunteers during the course of a weekend, with many traveling long distances for a chance to serve. Some of these volunteers have years of professional medical or dental experience, but many of them are still students who benefit from providing the services under the direction of the pros nearly as much as the patients benefit from receiving the care.
Always coming to these communities and helping out any way that we can is so fulfilling because they're such grateful people, and it's just an awesome opportunity to come and give health care to people that actually deserve it.
Well, for more information about Remote Area Medical, you can go to WYMT.com. University of Kentucky kicked off a new program aimed at identifying risk factors for dementia. The Sanders Brown Center brought its research and healthcare to a fair in Frankfort. The center partnered with the church there to give screenings that would help identify any issues and prevent memory loss. Dr. Elizabeth Rodas, UK assistant professor at Sanders Brown Center on Aging, said identifying risk factors like diabetes, obesity, and tobacco use early on is key.
We are getting closer and closer to these different studies who are getting, FDA approval to help with these diseases early on. What can we do today?
As a substantial portion of Kentucky's population gets older, Dr. Rodas wants to empower them to look out for their health and know the risk factors of memory loss. Kentuckians are still picking up the pieces 6 months after tornadoes ripped through various parts of the Commonwealth. Cabrera's restaurant being one of them, the business lost everything during the storm. Since then, it's been operating from a food truck right at the same spot where the tornadoes left their restaurant in pieces. Miguel Lomeli remembers the intense emotions displayed on his family's faces when they saw the restaurant in pieces. He also remembers vividly what his children felt during the aftermath of the tornado.
The most difficult part was seeing my kids' faces. Since we all worked there, my kids were upset. Some were crying, asking me, "Dad, what are we gonna do? Where are we gonna work?"
6 months later, he is leaving the past behind him and says the restaurant will once again reopen in the same spot. When the December 10th tornado came through Muhlenberg County, one man was far from his home fighting a different battle. Marty Gish, the father of twins born 3 months early, spent the first 5 months of their lives in the NICU in Louisville. Jordan Yaney met up with them to see what's changed in the past 6 months.
In October of 2021, Marty Gish and his girlfriend Shannon Hancock were in Louisville, Kentucky, where the couple would spend much of the next 5 months. After trying to have kids for over 2 years, Shannon was due to have twins in February. The problem was, her babies came early.
Well, they came really early. They came at 24 weeks, so they had to have us stay in the NICU, which Addie was in for 120 days and Sailor was in for 152.
On the night of December 10th, Marty and his family were in Louisville, but heard that storms were moving into Bremen. 6 months ago, Marty's mind wasn't at home. It was wondering if the twins he'd waited so long to have would survive. Adeline needed heart surgery, Sailor needed 2 brain surgeries. And in the midst of that battle, Marty's home was a total loss.
You play the hand that you're dealt. You don't have any choice. It's not like you get to turn it in and say, well, I want another hand. The tornado hit us. That's what happened. And so we got to pick the pieces up and move on.
When he returned home to Bremen, he found a surprise in an unlikely place, his driveway. Marty says dozens of Mennonite men came from Illinois to help him and his family and would hardly even take a thank you in return.
I can't say thank you enough. We're just 2 people that Mother Nature picked on. There are thousands of people like us every single day in this country.
For 3 months, the men worked to tear down homes and barns for Marty's family. And around the time they finished removing the last piece of debris, Marty and Shannon's twins finished their stay in the NICU and headed home.
I remember, sitting in the NICU and just dreaming about, one day getting them home and being able to, just pick them up when I wanted.
This is the best thing that ever happened to us. It may have happened in a horrible set of events around it, but this is still the best thing that ever happened in our lives. So
a happy family, now reunited. Those scars from the surgeries remain. The Gish family is together and thankful for that.
Anybody that's reached out, anybody that's prayed for us, and just everybody, we just want to say thank you.
Marty, Shannon, and the Twister twins, as they call them, are currently renting a house while they look for something more permanent. Jordan says each time he's met them, there's always a smile on their faces. Just 2 very proud and happy parents. Well, this summer, cities across the country are facing a critical shortage of lifeguards. The once coveted summer job is suddenly out of style. The American Lifeguard Association warns a third to nearly half of the nation's 300,000 public pools are expected to be impacted, prompting closings, delayed openings, and reduced hours. Jimmy Davis is the director of aquatics for Palm Beach County, Florida. Well, they're short about 30% of summer employees.
To be able to conduct as many swim lessons as we normally do, and that has a direct impact on the community and could potentially affect the number of drownings that we see in our community.
Well, what's driving the shortage? Well, things changed during the pandemic. Lifeguards have to go through certification classes, and pay is a big factor. It can range from $10 to $15 an hour in many places. So in a tight job market, there are better paying, more flexible options. Well, with summer just around the corner, more wildlife will be out and about near your home or property. To avoid the risk of snakes making your home or property their own this summer, those with the Kentucky Reptile Zoo say it is important to keep your yard and property clean. The more objects that are outside, the more options snakes have to hide.
But also, if you have a bunch of stuff sitting around or even lots of garbage, that will attract rodents. Rodents attract snakes, and so you end up with more snakes. So keeping your area clear reduces the chances of snakes wanting to live there.
Those with the Reptile Zoo add that if you want to scare snakes away, spraying them with the water hose is a good solution since it is usually effective and you can do it from a far distance.
6:11 this morning, and if you noticed, Dakota was kind of laughing because I literally had my back turned looking at the other monitors during that last story. Not doing it, not looking at those this morning. All right, let's look at the temperatures this morning. We're seeing those in the 60s and 70s out there, close to 80 in Monticello this morning, if that temperature is right. 77, 76 at Jackson there. It is muggy too, so again, dew points are high. Anything close to 70 is basically uncomfortable or instant sweat, so it is air you can wear, almost like swimming in it out there, especially the closer I got to work this morning. 91 this afternoon, our forecast highs, scattered chances for showers and storms, hot and muggy. And that muggy and hot conditions will continue through most of the week along with those daily storm chances. Record heat is likely tomorrow, Wednesday, and potentially Thursday, but some relief will come this weekend in the way of maybe a little small cold front. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. 6:12, when we come back here on Mountain News this morning, a Florida community remembers the lives lost to one of the deadliest shootings in U.S. history. Stay with us.